Good afternoon. This is the Weather Guru. Thank you for joining me on this Friday, August 21st, 2020. I want to give you an update on Tropical Storm Laura. This is the 5 p.m. update. As you know, we've been expecting this to become a tropical storm for quite some time now, and it finally broke through today as a tropical storm with sustained winds at 45 miles an hour. And the pressure is holding steady at 1,007 millibars. It's moving west at 17 miles an hour, a pretty fast clip. But the system is poorly organized, and the National Hurricane Center recently had a center fix above here, but they moved the center fix slightly south. And so that is concerning, that the system doesn't have good inflow and outflow. It is battling dry air and also battling an upper level trough that is going to be running to once it gets past Puerto Rico as well. So the system itself is very compact, by the way. It's only a couple of hundred miles across. It's not that classic pinwheel shaped tropical storm or hurricane that we're used to seeing here on the visible satellite. However, tropical storm conditions can be felt for islands of Guadalupe, Saba and Saint Eustatius, Montserrat, and coming into the St. Thomas and St. Croix U.S. Virgin Islands. They will be experiencing tropical storm conditions, maybe some gusty winds between 30 and 40 miles an hour and occasional rain squalls. But other than that, it's nothing that they can't handle, these islands can't handle down there. And nonetheless, our prayers are with them and Puerto Rico as well as the Tropical Storm Laura, continues to make its impact known. However, let's get back to the discussion here. What I want to tell you is that about Tropical Storm Laura, the main impacts is that it's going to be heavy rain. And the forecast cone now has it going across a lot of terrain. And I don't know how much of it is going to survive once it comes out of the other side in the Gulf of Mexico on, let's say, Tuesday or Wednesday. Now, what does come out on Tuesday or Wednesday does have the chance to strengthen into almost to a major hurricane, a Cat 2 hurricane, as far as the intensity estimates that we have. But what's going to be hindrance for it is that it's going to have to cross over not only Puerto Rico, but the Hispaniola, the island Hispaniola, Dominican Republic, and Haiti have very tall mountains. On Sunday is going to be the crucial day for Tropical Storm Laura. And the system is already poorly organized. As you can see here, this highlighted in yellow is showing the tropical storm force winds. It's all on the northeast side. There is nothing not much on the south side or on the west side of the system because of the shear and the dry air that's entrained in this system. And the Hurricane Center's noted, like I said, it's been hard to find a center fix on this system, and that's why they shifted the cone further south. So if this whole blob of a system goes over Hispaniola and goes over Cuba, which is also mountainous in the eastern 2/3 of the country, this could cause havoc with the circulation of this system. And what could come out on the Gulf Coast is potentially it will have to start over as a depression again on Tuesday or Wednesday time frame based on the Hurricane Center observations, because it's battling a lot of stuff. And I think it can overcome that, all of the internal structure and everything that comes out on Tuesday. It will. I think I'll agree with the Hurricane Center. It will reach a hurricane status in the Gulf, but it's going to be a painful transition because once it goes over these mountains, and if the circulation manages to stay offshore of of Hispaniola and Cuba, if it manages to stay offshore, then yes, you're looking at, and it comes into the Florida Keys as a tropical storm or higher, yes, you're looking at almost a major hurricane coming into the Gulf of Mexico, Cat 2 or borderline Cat 2, minimal Cat 3. But if the circulation goes directly over Hispaniola, Cuba, then that's it for it. It's going to have to start all over. Once it gets in the Gulf, it's going to be a tropical depression again. Now, the critical day is between Sunday night and Monday morning. That's the critical day for Tropical Storm Laura. What I want you to watch for is how much of the circulation is on land and how much of it remains offshore. If the center of circulation remains offshore, it'll be stronger. If the center of circulation crosses any of these land masses, then it's over. It's going to be weakening to a depression. And whatever comes into the Gulf will be a depression or a tropical wave, and it will try to re-intensify up to a hurricane status. That will be a tall feat, depending on how fast it's moving too. If it's moving very fast, let's say it's moving on Tuesday Tuesday afternoon at about northwest at 20 miles an hour. Well, yeah, then in that case, it won't have that much time to strengthen before it makes landfall. So it'll be like a high-end tropical storm, maybe 65 mile an hour or something like that, 70 mile an hour. But if it's moving slower, it gets here Tuesday at this point. Let's say it gets in Tuesday, and the the movement of tropical storm Laura or depression Laura, whatever it is, when it gets in the Gulf, and it's like moving northwest at 7 miles an hour. Oh wow, we've got plenty of real estate, at least 400 miles or 350 miles before it hits the coastline. So yeah, it'll definitely be a Cat 2, 90, 95, 110 mile an hour storm, borderline Cat 3 storm coming into the Gulf of Mexico. So right now with tropical storm Laura, all interest in the Gulf Coast from Apalachicola all the way to New Orleans and Lake Charles need to pay attention to the storm, because with the steering currents are in place, it's being stirred by the western periphery of the Bermuda High, as well as a digging trough extending from Texas, Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas, all the way down into the Gulf of Mexico and up above Atlanta, Georgia, and through and on out through the sea, Atlantic Ocean again. And so the steering currents are in place. That they're very confident, the Hurricane Center, and we're very confident on that, but we're not confident on the intensity forecast. And so check back, like I said. The critical day will be Sunday night into Monday morning with this system, and Monday afternoon as far as the intensity of the system and how much land interaction. Another thing to note too with Tropical Storm Laura is that it's coming into this already disorganized, and so we could have another change in the center fix too as well. The Hurricane Center may have to reposition the center once again, because there appears to be 3 core areas of convection, one ahead of the storm, one behind the storm, and one exactly in the center of the storm. So actually it's behaving more like a tropical wave right now, or a tropical depression still. So if it doesn't get its act together by Monday, then we could be looking at something less than that. But if it does get its act together and there's no land interaction, then it can be a formidable tropical storm, and possibly could be a major hurricane in the Gulf of Mexico coming up. So Sunday night into Monday afternoon is a critical time period with Tropical Storm Laura. We'll be back with more updates shortly. Thank you for joining me, and have a great afternoon.